The air is thick with tension as the cold winds whip across the runway, a chilling prelude to the disaster about to unfold. It's 11:47 p.m. on a crisp, clear night in a remote airport in Maine. The usual hum of activity has subsided, leaving behind an eerie silence broken only by the distant sound of a plane's engines warming up for departure. The plane, a Boeing 737, is preparing for its routine flight from Portland to New York City. The passengers, each with their own stories and destinations, are blissfully unaware of the fate awaiting them. On board, among the 150 passengers, is a man named Victor Morgan, an influential businessman in the tech industry, as well as Elizabeth Harris, a promising journalist on the brink of her big break. Everything seems normal. That is, until the moment the plane takes off into the night sky. But something is wrong. The pilots, a seasoned team of veterans, exchange uneasy glances in the cockpit as they feel the plane's stability begin to falter. A slight tremor runs through the aircraft, and before they can react, a violent shudder courses through the fuselage. The plane begins to plummet from the sky. The passengers are thrown into chaos. The sound of muffled screams fills the cabin. Oxygen masks drop, and the emergency lights flicker on, casting an ominous red glow. The plane continues to fall, faster and faster. Then, just as suddenly as it began, the chaos halts. A deafening silence. The plane has crashed into the dense forest miles from the airport. Before we dive deeper into the haunting details of the chilling air crash investigation, make sure to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share it with anyone you think would be interested in this chilling true crime case. Your support helps keep us going and brings more gripping stories like this one to the forefront. If you're new to the channel, be sure to catch up with our previous videos to immerse yourself fully in these gripping tales. Now, let's go back to the beginning. The scene shifts to the moments leading up to the tragic crash. Victor Morgan checks into his flight, unaware that this journey would be his last. His dress in a sleek, dark suit, his face hardened from years of business dealings. His assistant, Claire Dawson, waits by his side, nervously checking her watch. She's been with him for over a decade and has seen him navigate countless challenges. But today, something feels different. Meanwhile, Elizabeth Harris, a promising journalist with an investigative edge, arrives at the airport. She's covering a story on business executives, and Morgan, with his controversial public persona, is her target for the day. As she checks in, she overhears a strange conversation between a couple of ground staff about an issue with the plane's maintenance. They brush it off, but Elizabeth's instincts tell her it's worth noting. The plane climbs into the sky, and for the first few minutes, everything seems fine. However, as it passes through clouds, turbulence strikes. At first, it's mild, just a few bumps, but then something much worse happens. The cockpit alarms begin blaring. The pilots scramble to assess the situation, but they can't get a clear read on the aircraft systems. The autopilot malfunctions, and the emergency lights flash on. The situation grows more chaotic as the passengers start to panic. Seconds feel like hours as the plane careens towards the ground. The crash is inevitable. Screams echo through the cabin as the plane impacts the forest floor. Fire erupts, engulfing the plane in a massive explosion. The sound of metal grinding against rock reverberates in the still night. When the dust settles, only a handful of survivors remain. The wreckage is scattered over a wide area. Emergency responders arrive within minutes, but the damage is devastating. Among the survivors, Elizabeth Harris is alive, but Victor Morgan is not. His body is found, but the circumstances surrounding his death don't match the rest of the victims. The investigation begins. FBI Special Agent Luke Turner, an experienced investigator with a sharp mind for details, is assigned to the case. From the start, he's aware that this crash isn't ordinary. The plane was well maintained, and there were no weather conditions to explain such a catastrophic event. Luke and his team dig into the wreckage. Evidence is gathered, and interviews with survivors begin. Among them is Elizabeth Harris, who witnessed the final moments of the crash. She is shaken but determined to uncover the truth. She tells Agent Turner about the odd conversation she overheard the day before, though she didn't think much of it at the time. One survivor, Jenna Blake, claims to have seen someone tampering with the plane systems before takeoff, but her testimony is unclear. Could this be sabotage? As the investigation continues, Agent Turner uncovers a disturbing link between Victor Morgan and a series of high-profile corporate competitors. One of them, a tech giant named Neptune Inc, has a vested interest in Morgan's failure. Turner learns that Neptune had been in talks to acquire Morgan's company, but the deal fell through just days before the crash. A former employee of Neptune, Clara James, tells Turner that Neptune executives were known to use underhanded tactics to eliminate competition. Could they have orchestrated this crash? Meanwhile, Elizabeth Harris uncovers some questionable financial transactions linked to Morgan's company and Neptune Incorporated. She begins to suspect that Morgan may have been involved in something far more dangerous than a simple business deal. But was his death truly an accident? As Turner investigates deeper, he uncovers a web of corporate espionage, corruption, and hidden agendas. Several theories begin to surface, each more disturbing than the last. Some investigators believe the crash was a result of deliberate sabotage. There are signs of tampered systems, and the maintenance crew's actions are under scrutiny. But no definitive proof is found, leaving many to question whether there's a cover-up. The ties between Neptune Incorporated and the crash victims raise suspicions. Could Neptune have engineered the crash to eliminate a rival? Was Victor Morgan the target? Or was it simply bad luck? Some experts argue that the crash was due to pilot error. The cockpit recordings reveal moments of confusion, but nothing conclusive points to a mistake. However, could human failure have been a factor? After months of investigation, the case finally takes a turn. Clara James, the former Neptune employee, comes forward with a bombshell. She provides evidence of an illicit deal between Neptune and a mysterious contractor who had access to the airline's maintenance logs. The contractor had been paid handsomely to disable the plane's critical systems, and the deal was signed just days before the flight. With this new evidence, the investigation takes a drastic turn. Neptune executives are arrested, and a massive trial begins. The world watches as the case unfolds, with Agent Luke Turner providing key testimony. In a dramatic courtroom scene, the executives are convicted of conspiracy to commit murder, corporate sabotage, and several other charges. Justice seems to have been served. But just as the gavel comes down, Elizabeth Harris uncovers one final twist. A mysterious anonymous tip suggests that there was someone else involved in the crash, a shadowy figure from Morgan's past who had been pulling the strings from the beginning. As the story closes, questions remain. Was the crash truly orchestrated by Neptune Incorporated, or is there a more sinister force at play? And what role did Victor Morgan's dark secrets have in the ultimate downfall? As the investigation reaches a conclusion, there's still one question lingering. Was the crash truly an act of corporate sabotage, or was it a tragic accident exacerbated by other factors? What do you think happened to Victor Morgan, and do you believe there's more to this story than meets the eye? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Stay tuned for more investigations, and thank you for watching.